Okay, part two. Council of Blood. This is everyone's favorite fight because we get to hear Bolty count down for us, which maybe we'll get to hear when we get there. So this fight, there's 3 bosses. That said, even though there's 3, it's priority damage essentially only because they're gonna heal once one dies. The biggest thing in terms of killing quickly are these attendants. So let me go back. An attendant will spawn. It can be random. Sometimes it'll be right side. Sometimes it'll be left side. It can spawn, back right, back left. So sometimes you need to look around the room, but it'll spawn, and that needs to die ASAP because it'll run up into melee-ish range and start channeling on the bosses and make them immune. So they need to die as soon as possible.
Especially with all the ads that are out in the phases 2 and 3, I would highly recommend doing a /star dutiful something into one of your buttons so that you're not having to constantly look for it because it doesn't show up on boss frames. It's just going to be surrounded by things. So like I had something that /star attendant immediately cast Star Surge. I know the hunters had one where they just cast Steady Shot into it immediately.
Yep.
So highly suggest that.
So the main thing is this Dark Recital. So we're going to have the same weak aura, I assume, as part of the pack. So you're either going to get linked with someone and be participating in the Dark Recital or not. There's always this voice line, if I remember correctly. Or no, that's for the intermission dance. Oh yeah, find your partner. There it is. And it's going to tell you whether you're dancing or not. And so in this case, Schlim is not linked, so he's getting a left arrow. And so if you're not dancing, you're not linked with anyone, you're just scooting off to the left, because the people who are linked are going to start dropping these puddles. And the idea is they're going to do this little counterclockwise circle. It's like a stutter steppy circle, so you're going to drop a puddle like every half second or so. So you're kind of half second, pause, move, pause, move, pause, move. And make your way around. You don't want to get too far from the group because then someone's going to land in your puddle. I'm sure Schlim will at some point be part of that dance, so we'll see it from his perspective. There's also this kick, which we want to make sure we've got a kick rotation on, which we'll have. Stavros will do this evasive lunge that we just saw. So this will be partially up to the tanks to make sure he's faced correctly, but you just want to make sure that you're not getting cleaved by this lunge because it does hurt.
If tanks do it correctly, it should never be even close to the group.
Yeah, well, I remember there was one, like occasionally it was like during the dance where...
Yeah, so there is one during the dance, but as long as we are facing correctly, you will never be in danger.
Yeah, just something to be mindful of.
Your hot mic.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so once we get a boss to 50%, you're going to get the intermission.
Are
you still doing the triangle stack point? Did you talk about that?
Triangle is law.
Yeah, triangle is law. So basically, I mean, you can see it in the video, but like we are all stacked extremely fucking tight. That is important so you're not getting cleaved by Stavros' lunge, and it's important so that when we're starting that recital, we're all already stacked. And there's no finding your partner.
Push.
So here's the intermission. You're going to get a square on the room that lights up like this. You're going to stand in your square, and then you're going to do the dance.
Let me right.
Of course.
So every time we do this, you're going to get 1 stack of the buff. And if you screw it up, you lose your buff.
Bruce forward.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
I like this. I like this a lot.
What's left and down?
What?
What were left and down?
Sachet left?
Sachet left and...
Boogie down.
Boogie down?
You can't mess with boogie down. Everyone likes boogie down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Would you call it like Sasha left then?
We don't have a Sasha.
We had a Sasha.
Damn.
But so we're going to get an attendant. It depends a little bit on our push timing, but often there will be an attendant that comes out shortly after or right as this intermission ends. So it's just something to be mindful of. As you can see, Shlim immediately turns to target it. The other thing is the moment you hit this fourth square, you can start recongregating in the middle. It takes a minute or a second before these waiters go away, but you can just start collapsing onto our stack point. Okay, so this time Shlim... Oh no, this is Dancing Fever. So this is Bolty's going to tell us to jump.
3, 2, jump in 3, 2, 1, jump.
Yeah, Bolty is famous for this. I'm going to play it back again.
So you had everyone jump at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
We did
That
because
being-
of Spirit Shell. I don't know if we're going to do that now.
Well, we did it because of Spirit Shell and Spirit Link. We were running 3 Master Shamans.
And
So
Virtual
we
Damage.
might need to stagger them.
Yes,
We'll
I mean,
see how the damage is.
one of the other guys I was watching was have 3 people jump staggered, and then another 3 people jump staggered.
Only, what? Is it 4, 5 people get it? 3 people?
I thought it was 3.
3 people.
It's 3 people get it, but there's 3 stacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
3
did they
people.
nerf it? Okay, because the guys I was watching, there's 15 stacks.
So the reason I was calling jumps is because it would be specifically timed to my Spirit Shell. So I was calling out when to do it.
Well, you guys are still going to have to listen to it because it's an important part of OE history.
3,
Yes.
2, 1, jump.
2, 1.
There you go. So Shlim again doesn't get recital. Lucky bastard.
Push timings were kind of important on this boss, so that attendant coming out of the intermission was because we pushed to beat it the first time. Boss damage mattered a lot on this. This push timings mattered a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to know is you just want to look at your boss timers as we're going into the intermission, because if you're about to get a dutiful attendant going into it, he's just going to spawn coming out of it.
So there's one point, I think it's here actually, where we specifically don't kill the boss to get the attendant, and then we kill the attendant and then push so that we can have a better push on the boss after this point. As soon as Frida dies, we're going to go into the next phase. So we wait for that attendant, then kill Frida, so that we have the maximum time to burn. I think it was Stavros that we kill next. I don't remember.
I think so, yeah.
Killed Stavros second. We killed Niklas third.
Yeah.
So just in case
we just blasted though and pushed before a lot of the first set of these attendants. So we'll have to see, especially with the buffs from the animo or affixes.
So you might see these Moonkin dancing out here. That's just so that their Convoke blasts the shit out of the attendant. So most of
Yeah.
the DPS won't.
I don't know if we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm just saying, ignore them. Everyone else, unless told otherwise,
Yeah.
is stacking on triangle. And so here we see Shlim get linked for the recital shortly. So this time he'll have a green arrow to the right. I think it's green, yeah, and he's linked. So you just immediately start stutter stepping. You want to make sure you're not ahead of the group. It's important that you guys are super tightly packed. That's all.
Generally, if somebody dies doing that, it's because somebody else killed them by running ahead.
Yeah. You just keep it as tight. I mean, look how tightly these people are grouped. You just want to make sure you're not ahead or behind of the group. That's all.
The big thing is don't run back into the group while you're still spawning puddles.
Yes. So now we switch to
You've definitely gone too
Stavros.
fast.
Now we start to get these waiters. These waiters do need to die. I mean, back then it was mostly boomkins.
They're
who
basically just cleaved.
just-
You don't ever focus them really.
Yeah. They'll eventually just get annihilated in the meat grinder of melee. So when the Waltz of Blood happens, you'll get these other mobs that come down. If you get hit by them, I think it stuns you and does damage. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's immediate damage and stun. Yeah.
So they'll do their little dance based on where we bait them. So we just come over here and then you can basically ignore them. You'll still get attendance during this, so they are still 100% priority. That's basically
this is the one.
The after
so
image.
This recital coming up is the one that tanks have to be careful where you're facing Stavros. So if
Yes.
you face Stavros so that he like dashes towards the north, then he will dash out of the way of the people doing the recital, and they don't have to dodge.
Yeah, I think he's
So
about
you'll see it
to
here
do the dash.
See it here in a second. Like he'll do dark recital, and then he'll do dash. I think it is.
So here's the lunge. Yeah.
But it's the next lunge that is the important one.
Right, but it's that like
it's that
positioning.
Direction.
Yeah.
You'll see the timing here in a second.
Yeah, I'll show that, and then I'll go back for the after image.
We might actually. Did we push before it?
Here's the recital.
Oh yeah, we canceled it.
Well, in theory. So the other thing is, there will be this after image that spawns. So there it is. It's the after image of Frida or whatever her name was. That still needs to be kicked. We don't need to kill it, but that kick rotation will continue to go on that. So that'll be ranged kicking that ad. That's all. So now we push before we get this recital. As you can tell, these waiters are not a priority at all because they will go away when we're doing this intermission. Do the dance. I'm going to skip through the dance. Okay, so then we recongregate after 4 moves.
Again, whoever has Stavros, he has a tendency to do this and dash immediately out of the dance. So you just need to make sure that you're not hitting the raid.
So he's going to come down, and then he's going to dash immediately. We get an attendant again. That thing dies. Waiters are still just kind of slowly getting cleaved. We move out of the waltz.
Probably see the timing I was thinking of on this recital. Whenever it happens.
Yeah, maybe. We got a dancing fever first.
Did we actually beat it twice on our kill? We might have actually just beat it twice on our kill. Okay, never mind.
Attendant is always #1 priority.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, so here's Dark Recital. He's going to immediately lunge, and you see where Mango stepped out so that he doesn't dash through the people doing the recital. Mango steps out and dashes. It makes him dash north so that you have room for the people doing the recital.
And he dashes. I've never done this as a tank. Like
he dashes goes through from your back through your front.
Okay. So
wherever you are facing is where he will end up.
It's like really hard to see Mango, but she steps like out this way basically, and then faces this way
along the wall, along the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, after image is getting kicked again, and then they finish off Stavros.
This was the one where we waited for an attendant to push, but we probably won't have to do that. This is where we burned.
Yeah, so again, everyone's stacking real tight. Triangle is law. And then you get these gargoyles.
On farm, we just killed the gargoyles. Like, we just cleaved them down and tanked them. On Prague, we kited them because they basically one-shot.
Yeah, I assume we'll be killing them, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just cleave them.
But you'll still get attendance, so don't tunnel the stone guards too hard. You still want to swap to attendants.
You can watch me go around the world.
Yeah, look at Pau go. Engaging gameplay.
That dance right there was one of the hardest things for us to get down on Prague.
Yes.
Because it kind of comes out of the blue.
Yeah, just look at the after image. Still needs to
And
be
then
kicked.
we pushed right after that spawn so that it got stunned, and we killed both the ads during the intermission.
Yeah, so the ads will still be up. These ones will specifically will still be up. Kill whatever you can in range, but obviously still do your dance for the buff. Then we go back to original position. Still have attendance. Still have the after image, still have dances.
Attendants were the only reason we ever missed this damage check on this boss. So
yeah,
they're like literally the biggest priority.
That's why the target macro helps.
And that's basically it.
Did you talk about the interrupts in both the first phase and the second and third? How the dread fire volleys that come back?
We just have a kick rotation on it.
You just have melee do it in P1, and then you have range do it.
Yeah. So in phase 1, it's just on the boss that you're actually focusing on Frida, this guy, and then it's the after image for the other 2 phases. And so it can be a little annoying for range because she's going to be up here while we're over on the side avoiding the waltz. So you just need to make sure you're still keeping an eye on your kick for that rotation.
And on farm, we didn't move Niklaus to middle for the first burn because we just stayed on the after image here. Are we going to do that for this?
I would assume we just keep him there as much as possible if we're cleaving the ad. There's no reason for us to move.
Yeah.
Especially since we don't want those waiters to be near the stone guard.
Yeah. The reason we moved middle on Prague was for my kiting.
Even if we need to kite the ad, Lurie should have the tools to kite it himself without getting meleeed between transcend and rolls. That's my understanding.
Yeah, you can unbrew.
Any other questions? Is there anything elsewise healer? Anything else healer-wise you'd like to emphasize?
Nope. The only thing healing-wise happens on a minute rotation with the jumps. Otherwise, it's just very little random damage.
All right. Moving on to Sludge Fist. We're almost through. Sludge Fist. This was a really fun fight initially. Made less fun by nerfs, but still decent. So this fight is a DPS check largely, but it's also very punishing in terms of you need to be very particular with your movement. You're going to get chained, or most people will get chained. So here you go. So let me play it back. So you're going to get randomly assigned to a person. So Schlim is linked to Ogle. You need to be, I don't remember how far it is after nerfs, let's say 10 yards or so, with your partner the entire time you're chained. Otherwise that chain breaks. If that chain breaks, you wipe the raid. So when the initial markers go out, find your partner. You're going to get these seismic shifts. These were nerfed, so the circles aren't nearly as big now, but you just need to make space. At the same time, there's going to be this destructive stomp around the boss, so melee will need to be running out. When the melee are running out, you obviously need to make sure you're running with your chain partner, so be coordinated in that sense. And range need to make sure we're backing up enough that we give the melee space. I think all of these mechanics were shrunk with nerfs, so they're not nearly as punishing as it looks here. So that stomp's going to go out. There's also going to be this falling debris. Just obviously dodge it. It'll stun you. Make sure that when, if this debris were landing on Schlim, you want to dodge towards your partner. You don't want to instinctively dodge the other way because you're liable to snap your chain.
We also, on Prague and also on farm, but to a lesser extent, ranged had to stay in pretty specific regions for basically every part of the fight because of the baiting those puddles.
Yeah.
Because the puddles spawn around people and space is a problem as the fight goes on.
Yeah, and so I guess this is still how we do this, but so in general, back here is going to be boomkins and people linked to boomkins. Everyone else is going to be closer to the front.
This is a little bit of a change from our Prague. There's actually a weak aura that assigns people and tells them to get in the back.
Oh, even
it
better.
prefers certain classes, so it should pop up. Assuming the weak R works, it should pop up on your screen and tell you to get in the back.
Yeah. So the reason is people in the back will get targeted with this chain slam that you're about to see. So this chain slam, it's on Z. If you're one of those back people, so does it tell you that you're soaking chain slam, or what is it?
Yes.
It tells you to bait chain slam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chain slam specifically goes on one of the 4 furthest players.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure the weak aura worked. But so, okay, so one of the 4 furthest people will get targeted with chain slam. If your weak aura says you're soaking it, then you're getting in that. You need to make sure that you and your partner are getting in, because again, if you get yeeted or pulled in by the chain slam and your partner doesn't, it's going to snap the chain and we wipe. So you'll see people move into the chain slam here. So this is the group going in. They're going to get pulled into the boss, and then they need to run back out. There will typically be this colossal roar that happens shortly after that, which will push people back out, which you can use as a kind of free movement to get out. But as always, make sure you're moving with your chain partner. Then we get another seismic shift.
I don't remember if we kept enforcing this on farm, but one of the things that we said on Prague is just to help with not breaking chains, you don't fight the colossal roar. You
Right.
let it push you.
Yep.
And make sure you're getting pushed, like basically stand on your partner so you're getting pushed at the same angle. So now this is the other key part of the fight. There's these 4 pillars. The boss will cast Hateful Gaze on the tanks, and he's going to charge the tank. The tank will be positioned so that the boss charges through the pillar. You, number 1, need to make sure that you're not in the way of the boss, because he will kill you. So he's going to move out of the way. There you go. And then we will have assigned spots on which corner of this pillar you need to stand. Shlim, are we doing the same?
Again, there's a weak aura for this that Bruce and I have been adjusting.
Okay, awesome.
But basically, hunters. So I'm linked to Ogle. Basically, hunters and boomkins or whoever that weak aura assigns will get set to this back corner, and your character will say circle or square, which will help assign you. So you will just go where the markers are. Basically, we'll have them set up, and then we'll adjust the orientation.
So most of the range are going to be on this corner. People with hunters or whatever the weak aura says will be on this corner, and then melee and melee and tanks will be on these 2 sides. One thing that's useful to know for all this fight, especially after the nerfs, this debris left by the falling rocks, obviously you want to dodge it when it's falling, but after that it does very little damage. It basically just tickles. So if at any time you need to move through that or even stand on it for like a decent period, it's not a big deal. Use that to position better. Like when we're spreading for seismic shifts, don't be afraid to step into debris to make the spreading easier.
It does slow you though when you're in it, so just be aware of that part.
Yeah. So boss is going to charge the pillar and break it. As soon as he hits the pillar, it's going to spawn these 4 piles of debris. They're going to get soaked, and then they spawn 2 more each. So 1 big soak and then 2 little. These just all need to be soaked. Make sure you're not breaking your chain as you're soaking those.
Now the chains now are generous enough that you and your partner can go to different soaks as long as you're on the same corner, you won't break.
Right. So Shlim can be here and Ogle can be here, and they'll be fine. Initially, you had to be, or it was safer at least to be in the same one. The boss will be stunned here for like 8 seconds or so, and he will be vulnerable. And so this is when you want. Everyone needs to look up timings or plan CD timings for their class, but this is when you want to be doing your damage. There's 4 of these periods. The first one's 55 seconds into the fight, and then they're like 68 seconds apart from there. And this is where all your throughput comes in. So you smash the boss.
Which one did we last on? Was it always the 4th?
It changed.
It changed throughout.
It was
farm.
the 3rd
I think it was
during
the 3rd.
farm.
Yeah. 3rd then moved to 4th?
I think it was
the 4th on Prague, 3rd on farm.
Yeah, I think we switched to 3rd because we were killing it too fast.
My guild did that too. Yep.
Yeah.
Plan on 4th, probably.
Yeah. So we're doing this last spread here, and then we're going to start moving towards this pillar slowly, because that's where the next Hateful Gaze is going to go. But so first we've got a Chain Slam. So again, people with the weak aura get yoinked in, and then just dodge the debris, but otherwise you want to stand with your partner and just let the Colossal Roar push you out. So there you can see they get pushed into this debris, and it really doesn't, it kind of tickles.
One thing to note, especially if you're getting gripped in, watch your partner, because if they get hit by a falling debris, they'll survive, they'll just be stunned. However, there's a pushback, and if you're stunned while the pushback happens, you don't move.
Yep.
So your partner will get pushed away from you and it'll snap, unless the partner is actively running towards their partner fighting against the pushback.
Same thing can happen with these pillars. Obviously, if you're hugging the pillar as the pushback happens, you can get stuck on it. And so if you get stuck and your partner doesn't, that can cause it to snap. So be careful of that. So here's the second pillar. Again, we soak the big one, and then you soak the 2 aftershocks and just blast the boss.
And right there, you could see the aftershock like went under the boss.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful of that. Like it is directly under him.
Yeah, there will always be 1 per corner. That's a bigger soak. And then 2. So, like, just if you don't see the other one, make sure you're looking for it. And there's going to be a Colossal Roar coming out of this. So for ranged, you can use these roars. So when this is happening, there's no chains anymore. They dissipate, and it's, you've got 6 seconds or so before the next chains come out. So you can use this roar to push you towards where we need to go for the next pillar, just to help with uptime, if you're not a dirty mage with blink.
Blinks are banned on this fight.
You can use them to get to your partner before the chains have activated. But once they're out, all movement, soul shapes, blinks, dashes, whatever, banned.
Oh, that was close.
This was me all of Prague.
You still had cauterized. What are you talking about?
So, yeah. I mean, this, again, is easier now with the smaller circles, but obviously if you see yourself getting Venn diagrammed, you want to pop strong defensives and health stone health pot if needed. So another thing to point out, this fight, we're taking a stacking debuff, and so everything will do more damage the longer this fight goes on. So things get scarier and scarier. So things which might have not been super scary, like if that had happened on the first pillar, he probably would have gone to like half. Instead, this almost killed him.
You're welcome for the lay on hands.
Are we gonna?
How do you know it was you? It could have been Jesser.
It could have been Jesser, yeah.
I guess this is gonna be probably coming up later. Are we gonna be doing the sack strat for chains at the end, or no?
Tuning? Question mark?
Yeah, probably a tuning thing.
Probably not, because we don't
that's
have
100%
a PT.
I mean, we would just die in battle res if we have it, but tuning is tuning needed, but the plan would be not to. No,
hopefully not.
We didn't do it on farm. I don't think we should need to do it. I would imagine with the affix, and if it's tuned how Blizzard says it's going to be, with the affix is actually helping you in the fight, I'd assume this fight is going to be shorter than 4 pillars.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see.
I have it ready to go just in case, though. So.
Sorry, what's the strat?
You
if
would
the person
bop
with the chain
one
slam
person.
dies, then the chain slam doesn't go off.
So you would bop one person and break the chain that they're attached.
You would bop the person not rooted. You had to bop the right person. It couldn't be just one of the 2 people.
But you would let that person die, and you would APT with Shaman to res them, because it was a guaranteed death every time.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was weird with that. Like you couldn't, person
Had to
couldn't
put a
have
DR on them.
Couldn't
They
have
too much
Dreamweaver. Couldn't have a cauterize or anything like that. Yeah.
They also couldn't have too much DR.
Yeah, I think I lived it in bear form one time accidentally.
That's also, here's the snap.
You can see there.
Yeah, so Who is that? So DZ gets the chain slam, and whoever's
Domi,
linked to him gets no, because Domi's with Schlim.
Oh, you're right.
Jake.
Yeah, Jake, I guess. Yeah. So Jake gets bopped, and then he blinks out to snap it, or just runs out, whatever. Yeah, and then the chain slam just goes away. Likely, we won't have to do that, but. Okay, so here's the last pillar. I kind of just want to listen to comms for the end of this fight because I imagine there's some nerd screams. Or some just general nervousness.
More center
I don't
makeup,
think
more
you're
center
turning
makeup.
the sound.
Keep them in range.
Yeah.
Plenty of room.
Oh, you guys can't
I
hear
don't think
this?
No, we
I don't think we heard Bolty's countdown either.
Yeah,
Oh,
we-
Yeah,
no.
and he's like, he was like, and there we go. And I went, huh?
Well, that's tragic. I don't know how to. I guess when I stream screen, it doesn't pick up sound. Oh well. Get fucked.
yeah, it has to be a tab per window.
Well, we won't play it then. But I'm pretty sure you should go watch this because the kill's pretty hype. This boss was tuned so fucking well.
Let's
Oh, you killed during the wall part.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had
So-
to
so
run
the
him-
la-
you ran
yeah.
out of pillars and
You
had
ran
to
a pillar, so you
into
just
the
run him
wall.
into the wall, and
It's
it's just.
like killing Ragolon during the end of his final bang.
It's exactly like that.
It's very much so. Yeah.
Except even more.
Let's
go!
Because we're all like rotting out so hard here, whereas in the Regulon bang
Yeah,
it was
it's
nothing, and
not
then
a one.
everyone's dead.
Yeah, it's not a one shot. You could live this as long as you had enough enemies or whatever. But
All right.
Let's get this down.
All right. Now everyone's favorite boss. We're just gonna skip this. All right. Moving on to Sire.
Let's do it.
There we go.
I'm just kidding.
I wish I
No, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't even know
What's
if
this boss?
I don't even know if the prog video is relevant for this boss with how
yeah,
much
I
it
have the
changed.
speed strat. Give me a second. I'll link it to you.
Yeah,
Actually,
look it to me.
Isn't
There
it?
was a hole in the wall into Sire that like a DH could jump through,
Oh yeah.
and you could pull Sire and it would open his door.
There's also a very
Yeah.
specific spot in SLG's room where if you're standing on it during the transition out of the intermission, you will get yeeted off the platform through a wall.
Yep. The DH one was cool though, because you had to like parkour halfway up the door, and then you could just like walk through a hole in the wall and pull Sire.
More.
What did you do?
Nothing. I just.
Just liked your comment.
Mhm.
Period.
You employed the Jake passive aggressive period there.
It's very Midwestern of you.
Midwestern and passive aggressive. That's weird.
You never hear that?
All right.
Oh,
I'll just.
get this time experience.
Just give me
the,
a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good start.
the passive aggressive period at the end of our tierly recap for Sanctum.
I'll just explain the general gist of the fight while you're looking that up. This fight's a nightmare. You start on Daddy Call. We kill him. These Goliaths spawn. So there's different ads. There's Goliaths and there's skirmishers. Skirmishers are the little dudes. They spawn in sets of 4 or 5. I don't remember. 3. That sounds right. We get these really obnoxious winds that blow us around. The Goliaths are generally focus target. This depends on the strat and the time of the fight, but this first one, basically, what is it? Once they get
30%.
30%, yeah, then they just need to die.
Wait, can I just interrupt and ask, why is his nameplate actually Daddy Call?
Not mommy
Because
call?
I use now.
That's now's thing.
That's
Just like
wonderful.
my favorite is Lady Uwu in
Oh wait,
in
we need
Mist.
to pass out the
Sentry.
Josmo. We need to pass out the Josmo Weekor for this.
Syn-
Can you put that in the required?
Sentry and Miss and no.
Oh my
Symmetry.
god.
Yeah.
No, fuck.
Oh my god,
There you
Z.
go.
Really, I need to find it. It was
Oh,
amazing.
I know where it is. You can find it your own.
Okay, so one of the mechanics that's kind of annoying is these wicked blades. So 2 people, so Jezir and Zarantai are going to get targeted. And the idea is the boss is going to throw like a Xeno Warrior Princess blade at one person. It's going to bounce to the second person, and then it's going to come back to the boss. So it's going to form this triangle like this. You need to make sure that you're standing on this side of the boss so you're not getting cleaved either when it goes out or when it comes back. If you do get hit, it AoEs all around you, and we all get hurt for a bunch of damage, and it sucks. So don't get hit.
I linked it to you, Mark.
Greedy melee can and will wipe us a lot.
Yes, it happened. This boss was a mess even on farm, and that was one of the things that would often cause issues.
So this is speed strat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So starts the same. Here's the obnoxious wind. So the winds are going to come. They're always going to push you this way towards the edge of the platform. You just need to fight that and make sure you don't fall off.
We also always focused one of the skirmishers, because if you had all three of them push low health at the same time and start the winds, you couldn't fight it.
Yeah, so the winds happen every time a skirmisher dies. So this crystallize goes out on someone. It's a brown circle. They've got 5 seconds until it goes off. This serves a couple functions. So one, it will clear the bleed that you get on you from, was it the Wicked Blades?
Yes.
So if you get Wicked Blades, you get a dot on you. Like I think Koji's got it on him right now. It gets cleared by standing in this first part of the circle. So those Wicked Blades go out. And the circle at some point. Okay, so this is like a two-phase thing. So this first circle happens. People with the dot, so all these guys, need to soak this, and that'll clear their dot. It will also stun you. So now all those people got stunned. Now you see the swirl, and now everyone gets in because now a big meteor is going to come down, and we need to split damage with the raid. So the first part of the soak, you only get in if you've got the bleed, and the second part, everyone gets in. So now we all stack, and boom, we split the damage. So this was the speed strat, so we're just burning the boss at this point, and the Goliath, I think we kill after. So here Schlim gets the blade, so he blinks out. So when you're coming out, number one, you need to make sure you're getting out into the center area of the room, at least for this first phase one. The other thing is you want to be cognizant of where the other player is, and you can still cleave each other, so you want to make sure you're decently far from each other. So make that triangle. And then you can come back in. Yep. So then we phase. Then we get more skirmishers. At some point we phase.
We already phased.
Oh, did we? Okay, yeah. So he'll phase, and we get this. The boss goes immune. We'll still get Goliaths. And we'll start
Goliath in the intermission. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the idea behind the intermission is that we need to fill Prince Renathal's mana. We do that by collecting these anima orbs that fall from the sky, and they also spawn from the Goliath dying, if I remember right.
They spawn from killing any ad.
Okay.
From the skies.
Just gives 3.
Yeah, he gives a bunch.
He gives a big orb.
So this weak aura shows like how many things have gone into the boss, how many mana orbs. If you get a mana orb, you need to go over to Prince Renathal. He's kind of here by the Sire to Nathria store.
There will be a gate that you stand on the gate, and when your name is called, because you have to dunk one at a time, your name gets called, you click the gate to go in, and you'll get knocked. Like you'll gate into the boss, or you'll gate into Renathal, dunk it, you'll get knocked away from him, and then the next person will go.
Yep. So
it's important everyone's on the ledge so that you don't get knocked, and then the Wicked Blades during this point go to the balcony side.
Yeah, so Wicked Blades are going to go over here. And so you want to make sure you're not beyond the tank. Think of this as like a hard stop line. Unless you get the blades, then you go past this. Ranged, your ideal place is kind of along this edge, and then melee are obviously on the boss. Everyone needs to be watching their feet for these red swirls because they do hurt quite a bit.
The thing is, you're not touching the commandos. You let them go onto the statue for a while, because we want to basically just let them pile up and then do all of the burns at once because of how their fucking shield works.
Yeah, so those are just, no one's touching those. They're just getting tanked by the statue. We are killing the Goliath. And
we kill the Goliath, we taunt them all in.
Now there's the call for the burn, or at some point, there it is.
And they all shield at 25% or 20%. And if you don't kill the shield in 8 seconds, then it explodes and wipes the raid.
Right. And
the reason we waited is so that we can burn them all with cooldowns.
Yeah, so you don't want to target any of these early because then their health is going to get offset. You want them all to get burned evenly when we make the call. So you're still going to get this crystallized. You still want to soak that. We generally will life grip the person out of that.
Cool. Cosmo. You can also see the dunk order on for these blades or Suicora.
Stay back a little
if you
bit,
go back a little bit, you can see when there were like a few of them. You're dunking in debuff order. So Jake would dunk first, then Josmo, then I think that's me. That's the last one.
Yeah, the last one's you. So once this bar is filled, the intermission's over. And so the last one, you want to be a little careful with the timing because there's often like a Wicked Blades, I think, that goes out and you don't want it to be timed poorly.
So waiting for this blades.
Waiting.
Yeah, so that blade that just went out.
We bait the blood on the ground and then we hug the corner.
Josmo?
And so everyone wants to get up in this kind of nook because we're all going to get knocked away from Prince Renathal, and if you're over here, you're going to get knocked right off the platform.
Waiting for these blades. You'll see
Stay back a little bit.
Blade happens.
So Pow's waiting, now he's dunking, and then we all get knocked. Or, I don't know why Schlim didn't get knocked, but everyone else did.
Typically we wait for that blood and then we do it.
Oh, there it is.
Because the first knock was from me dunking. It wasn't the...
Okay. And then we're in a second phase, so we swap bosses. We've got Grishal now. But we're now also in the center of the room, so the positioning is a little different. Crystallize works the same. If you've got a... So here, Schlim had a bleed. Or not? Schlim did not... Oh, no, he just got one. Okay. Right at the end. So he gets in. Smart. He gets stunned, that clears the bleed, and then everyone gets in to split the damage.
Yeah, you do also get the bleed randomly from the
guys jumping around. Yeah.
Armature jumps, yeah.
So the blades in this phase so the blade will always come from, I forget the name, the other boss. And so in this phase, it's not coming from this guy, it's coming from the one flying kind of at the bottom end of the room down here. And so you can't see it, but the people who are assigned the blades are running towards like the edge of the platform kind of. And then they come back in. Okay, now Meteor's the other thing. So one person at a time is going to get marked with an eruption. And they're going to position them around the room in a ring. So the first one, star, it's always going to go up there.
The weak aura will tell you where to go.
Yeah. And there will be markers down. Okay. This mechanic killed a lot of people all the time, even on farm. Seismic upheaval. So you're going to get 3 ticks of like spawning shit under. It's like the same thing that the gargoyles in Sanguine Depths do, but it's going to be
Dark Recital again.
3 ticks of it. Yeah, it's kind of like Dark Recital, but we were generally less coordinated about our movement.
The rule for this one is that you always start moving right no matter if you got the debuff or not, and then if you didn't have the debuff, you just peeled off backwards. So you'll see me do it here, but everyone continues to the right.
So Slim, initially, he's got a weak aura that's saying move left, but for the first tick, you're just ignoring that. You're always moving right, so you can see everyone spawn shit. So first of all, stack super tight. This is another triangle is law kind of thing.
Don't be a Dan.
Don't be a Dan. Be over here. We're all going to spawn this first stack. Everyone's going to move to the right. And then once he notices that he doesn't have it, I mean, there's no harm in continuing to move right, first of all. If you're not sure, just continue to go right. But if you can back out and kind of drop out of the group like this and then continue DPSing.
Focusing on boss. Leaving off of boss.
If you get hit by that, it's big damage and a stun. So here you go. Schlim gets the Wicked Blade. He's going to run towards this bottom edge of the platform. Perfect. Here comes the next. So here we get an eruption. So this time, I don't know what marker it is, but he's got whatever the second eruption marker is. So he's going to, you don't want to stack the eruptions. They're going to be kind of like one next to the other around the edge of the room. Circle marker. So there, you can see the placement of it.
So every previous eruption has to be soaked every time a new eruption goes out.
Yes. So every time that goes out, it's going to like echo on the old ones. And so I think we get up to 8 of them, if I remember right. So there's going to be...
You only got 4. But
okay. Yeah. Up to 8, theoretically, but between 4 and 8. And So you'll have a bunch of people by the end running out to soak those past eruptions.
So that list on the right is telling you who is soaking those eruptions. So Ogle's getting the star eruption, DZ is soaking the orange eruption.
Push boss. You have to pay attention to that because if Ogle or DZ gets targeted for an eruption, that's going to change. It will, it'll call someone to basically soak in their place.
Yep, there's a backup list on it.
Push Goliath, go Goliath.
Where's the
Okay, now we phased. Oh, sorry, what was the question?
Like
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it activates.
So now it's intermission. The boss goes immune. We finish this first Goliath.
There's Goliath.
This is specifically speed strat that we have this Goliath still alive, by the way.
Yeah.
If people were wondering what speed strat is, it's leave that Goliath alive so we get an extra 3 value orb. We can be out of this phase faster.
So Wicked Blades are still going. So the other boss is still flying in the air. So Wicked Blades are still going to this edge. You just need to go a little further this time. And just like before, we're not targeting commandos. We're going to blow them all up at once if we're doing this strat. So right now there's this guy kind of in the middle, so people just need to be careful. Or do we kill?
Alive here.
It's
Kill
right
them
after this.
We killed them one at a time in this phase during speed strat.
Yeah, we only need to kill 4 of them compared to 7.
That's what it was, yeah. We only need to kill a couple.
When we did speed strat, so there were 2 ways that we did speed strat of this phase. One of them was we just killed them one at a time in this phase. The other was that we did an AoE burn with the shielded ad like this.
Yeah, I think the intention here was an AoE burn, but one of them got pulled in early.
Yeah, but either way, important for Schlim and or Larice, whoever's going to have the boss there, you taunt one of the ads away and so that we kill one less than we need. And that's because we need to hold one of the orbs for a little while here to push at the correct time. Because basically, if you dunk the last one as he's queued up in Eruption, it's just an insta-wipe. In the corner. If you push, or if you dunk while he's queued up a Wicked Blade, it's also an insta-wipe. If you dunk while he's queued up, what's the other one?
Rebuff
The
power.
Crystallize, that's also an insta-wipe. So, basically just had to wait for a very specific timing for that last dunk. Remember, we're focusing...
Alright, so this is last phase. This time we've got both bosses. The mechanics are basically the same, though. We still get the echoing eruptions. We still get blades. Blades are now going to this left side, and it's coming from Daddy Call, so you want to make sure melee are standing on the right side, or the back side of the boss. Just don't be anywhere on this left. We're stacking for the seismic. Triangle is law. And then we move to the right. Schlim accidentally moved left there and killed Zot. Nice going, Schlim.
Blades to the left. It's gonna need to cover for
As I
diamond.
say, not as I do.
Skull first. This phase was basically a victory lap for most of the time.
Watch back up for
It was
What are
largely
you
just...
talking? How many wipes did we have because the Wicked Blades didn't go out to the left?
I killed
That's what I mean. It's mostly a victory lap, except if you screw up Wicked Blades.
Yeah, I mean,
that and eruptions are the only things that can wipe you at this point in this phase, and the phase lasts about a minute.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in this fight in general. You want to be targeting, target priority is huge on this fight. You need to be targeting the right mobs at the right times. You need to be handling the eruptions as well as the aftershocks. So again, you refer to your list. Schlim, we just saw Soak the Echo on Moon. You need to be taking Wicked Blades to the right spot, and you need to always be moving to the right, at least initially, on the seismic upheavals.
Make sure we push call first.
It's a very hectic fight.
Good.
And not a fun fight, but hopefully we get through it.
Kill call first.
Couple healer notes. Number 1, Goliaths, when they're dying, it's a healing decrease, so we need to make sure that people are topped up going into it. Second thing, the heart rends. So every, I want to say about 50 seconds while call is on the ground. So phase 1 intermission, and then the last phase. He'll mark 4 people, I believe it is. Yeah, 4 people with a dispellable heart rend, which does a decent amount of damage, but not much. However, as soon as you dispel it, it turns into heart hemorrhage, which is a 6-second heavy dot. The way that we dealt with this on Prog, if you dispelled a target, you were responsible for keeping it alive. And we did need to dispel because if they all expire at the same time, suddenly you have 4 targets who are taking an insane amount of damage. It's really important to not instant dispel and to be very wary of when you're dispelling, because if you're dispelling and a crystallize is about to go out, or if you're dispelling and a Goliath is dying, you're not going to be able to keep them alive, or the crystallized damage is going to kill them along with the heart hemorrhage damage. So it's important to just watch for what damage is coming up before you dispel.
Are we not going to comment on Z referring to the DPS as it?
Accurate.
Maybe.
But that makes sense. 'Cause it's
And then in the
36
last
second debuff.
phase, I'll have to double check. In the last phase, we just let them all expire at the same time because it lined up with something, but that might have been because we had an SLT. I can't remember.
I think we have a couple healing bods. Even with the speed strat, I think our dispel timings were the same, so we can check that.
Wicked Blade.
Yeah, we just might need to come up with something else because we don't have any SLTs, and those were pretty important for the Goliaths.
Good.
Though on Prog, the Goliaths were 100% healing reduction, and now it's only 80%. So it's a little bit.
Oh, they cap at 80% now?
Yes.
Yeah, they changed that.
Stacks instead of 5.
A few nerfs in.
All right. Last boss. We finally made it. I'm going to restream this. So one sec. Share your screen.
Friends, Arca, especially since you've not done it. I don't think we're planning on doing a mass spell strat at all.
But yeah, there's no APT.
We did it, but it's just too dangerous.
Can you guys hear now in the stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Gotta at least hear the nerd screams here since we've watched all this content. Okay, Sire to Nathrius, the best fight hands down. Bunch of phases. So first phase is kind of a meme. There are basically just these Night Hunters, which will go out in 3 seconds. Does these ads, they just get blown up. So Night Hunters, so you got a circle around you. You want to make sure the circles aren't overlapping each other, because anyone who's in your circle who's not you will get killed. And you want to stretch out the line because you need people to soak your line. And you want to make sure if you're soaking a line that you're only getting hit by one. So you don't want to stand, unless you're a tank, you don't want to stand at the intersection of a line. So you don't want to stand here. You want to stand here or here or here.
Tanks explicitly go and stand at the intersection.
Yes, tanks will specifically go here because they can manage double soak and help DR twice. So Blood Price he'll pick everyone up, throw them in the air, and then he'll throw you down. And so the big thing is managing this cleansing pain. So everyone starts the fight with 6 stacks? 5?
Is it 6?
6 stacks. We'll say it's 6. Okay, whatever. Some number of stacks.
6.
The way every time you get thrown up, for Blood Price, you will take damage based on however many other people have the same number of stacks as you. And so the idea is that we need to all clear our stacks by the end of this phase, but also offset how many people are clearing at which point. The way you clear is with this Cleansing Pain cast, so there's going to be assigned groups of... The Cleansing Pain comes after this. So half the raid... so the Soak 1, Soak 2, Soak 3. There's specific people. So
those will likely be less specific people, because we're probably going to push this a lot faster than normal. So we'll have to go to the speed. So it'll basically be groups of people. or group 1 and 3 or something like that. We'll have to see Tuesday, but it's going to be less specific people on specific ones.
So the big thing with this mechanic is the big way that you offset stacks is if you are standing within 2 yards of another player, you will both lose an extra stack. Like you will lose 1 extra stack for every person within 2 yards of you. You can see like the way that it's broken up. It says like me plus Desmond, and then like a group of 3, and then another group of 3. So those people are all stacking on top of each other. So like Schlim would lose 3 stacks there because he's with Bolty and Jake. He would go from 6 down to 3. The other 3 people there would go from 6 down to 3. Me and Desmond would go from 6 down to 4. That's how we're offsetting everyone. So we would then have 6 people with 3 stacks, 2 people with 4 stacks, and the rest with 6 stacks for this blood price.
Yeah, did I miss the first cleansing pain? Is it right at the
it's
beginning?
Almost immediately on pulse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me show this one because we can see Schlim do it. Yeah. So first,
it's a narrow cone, and so you have to be very precise with positioning for this.
Right, so it's really hard to see in the pixelated VOD, but basically Schlim is right on top of these 2 other people, Jake and someone else that I can't see.
Bolty.
So it's this may look haphazard, but there's basically 3 groups of people. There's this cluster right on melee. There's this cluster with Domi and Ogle, and then this cluster with Schlim in it over here. And so the cone is going to hit this way. All these people are going to get their stacks reduced, but the number of stacks that get reduced are based on how many people they're stacked on. It's a very small radius, but that's that. Yeah, so there you go. So Schlim drops immediately to 3 stacks because he was stacked with 2 other people.
And you spawn 1 ad for every stack lost, which is why there's like a billion ads.
So there's a billion ads. He does mage things.
Also, why we didn't do more stacks on certain ones, because it caused a really horrific lag.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Yeah, like these lines could go off after you've been put in the air if you spawn enough ads.
Yeah, this first phase was terrible for lag. But that's basically that. You just keep alternating. Eventually he will do this Ravage, which he will paint a section of this room with red shit. You just want to be out of it, so we're all going to go there. There's a gateway for the slow folks. And then there's a Cleansing Pain almost immediately after this Ravage finishes. So if you're going to be in that next group, which I think Schlim is, yeah, he's in group 3, you want to be pre-positioned between the boss and the wall on top of whoever you need to be on top of.
This one we wanted everyone to lose 1, so you can see they're all spread out.
Yeah, so no one's within 2 yards of each other.
Except for Domi moved in because he missed one earlier, so he needed to lose 2 stacks there.
Yep. So we get fewer ads this time because there's fewer people stacked. The Night Hunters, and that's basically this phase. So you just do that over and over. You move for the next pizza slice. And then eventually the boss phases. And he
70%.
Yeah, 70%. He'll teleport to the middle. Everyone gets basically picked up and thrown to the edge of the room. And at this point, your movement will be slowed based on how many stacks you have. So I think if you don't have any natural movement... So you're also silenced for this, so you need to pre-pop any movement speed abilities that you're going to use. So Schlim will soul shape like right before this happens. Yeah, so this guy's casting March of the Penitent. He's going to soul shape now, right before the cast goes off, because now he's silenced, and now you can't do it. But I think if you have no movement speed, you need it to be below 3 stacks. You needed 2 or less. Is that right?
That sounds right.
To make it to the middle?
I think it was 3 or less, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Because we roared right before 2.
In any case, the goal is basically to make it to this inner donut before the cast finishes, otherwise you die.
Priests monitor people's stacks. You can life grip them in once you're into the donut.
Yes. Once you get unsilenced from making it into the donut, you can life grip whoever. Then we all get sucked down, and phase 2 starts. Eventually, when we make it to the bottom one day. Okay, now we've got Remornia as well as the boss. There's these different ads on different platforms. Ranged are instantly going to target Sincere, which is to the left of the boss when you come to the bottom. As you can see, it sends out these bolts that you just want to avoid, otherwise they silence you and do damage. I don't have... This fight might be useful if we have a melee POV, if anyone's got one, but there will be these swirls that spawn throughout the fight. I think whenever an ad dies, just obviously dodge those. They will boop you and do a bunch of damage.
So the plan is to do the 2-2 strat then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. No. We did 2-1-1, didn't we, pal? Because the mages went over and soloed this, basically.
No, we did 2-2.
Yeah, the mages soloing was 2-2, isn't it?
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know.
Thanks, Seth. I'll pull that up in a sec. Or I'll go through Schlimm's VOD first, and then I'll go through melee differences from your VOD. So then we all get pulled in for Hand of Destruction. So basically the boss, it's just like Hand of Destruction from Pantheon. So basically we all get pulled in, and then he's going to blow us up. The way we avoid that is by going, Schlimm and a couple other people go here to blow up this ad. But a bunch of people, as you could probably see, went through the mirror. So they get pulled in. Most of the group is going to go through this mirror. And the mirror will teleport you to the other side of the platform, which is out of range of the Hand of Destruction. Schlimm and the other mage is blowing up this ad. Everyone else, what they did is basically they went through the mirror, the Hand of Destruction went off, and then they came back through the mirror and then gated over to help them finish this ad. Melee are on the other platform killing that ad, which I'll show after this.
It's very important. If you go back a little bit, if anyone gets this, a little bit farther, if the mages or any of the ranged get this impale that's going off right now, the mages just step to this left hand of this platform, but everyone else needs to be aware, if a mage gets it, that the blade is going to jump to this platform and then jump back to the group. So you have to be careful you're not in line with the mages, basically.
Yeah. So we're dodging impales. That'll be a thing throughout the fight. Finishing this ad and then waiting to get gripped back across with the Hand of Destruction. Watch the swirls on the ground. We get gripped. We go through the mirror. And then this time, I think we just stay on this side. Yep. So we get these Kabbalists. The boss will be doing frontals throughout this, so you just want to make sure you're not in front of the boss. The boss will be getting aimed towards these Kabbalists. What you're seeing right here is this impale. So there will be this weak aura where for certain points of the fight, there's going to be specific assignments for where you're taking this impale. So the way to interpret this weak aura is there's 4 corners. Imagine you're looking at the mirror, and those are the 4 corners. So it's like a spot here would be 1, here would be 2, 3, and 4.
There's actually the word mirror on top, so you just aim the mirror.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So Schlimm's going to go to the 2 spot, and then you're going to see the thing bounce between these 4 people. As soon as you get hit, you want to move because it spawns that puddle under you. Now we're killing the ads. Watch your feet. Again, every time an ad dies, you're going to get swirls under your feet. Then we're getting Massacre. We're dodging. Another Hand of Destruction shortly now. Then we go through the mirror again. Again, we're staying. We're killing this set of ads. You still want to make sure you're watching the frontal. So the boss just got turned, so Mango turned the boss so that it's going to be going through. So you don't want to be standing in between the 2 ads. You want to be standing to the side. And I should say damage between Remornia and Nathria is shared. So if you can get efficient cleave, it's worth doing. Or multi-dotting, whatever. Now we go to the 3rd side, and we kill these ads. This is basically just rinse and repeat. We're just trying to get all the ads on all the sides. Remornia's going to go to the middle and do Massacre again. We're dodging. Then we get another Hand of Destruction and go through the mirror. Rinse and repeat. This would be the last set of ads. Slim gets another Lucky Impale. This time, it's the same spot actually. Again, just don't stand in between the two ads. Anywhere else is generally fine. I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. Okay, now the boss is about to phase. So he either phases based on a timer or based on 40%, I think. If I remember right.
I think it's 40.5, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And so now it's phase 3. Phase 3 is a really, like, I don't want to say complicated. It's a very specific dance. So it is a fight where we're going to have diagrams and teleprompters for the movement. The idea is that half of the raid, so the raid or the melee are all going to go through a mirror, and that's going to put them in the downstairs phase, so all their shit's going to look purple. And what that means is two things. One, people from upstairs and downstairs cannot collide or they will blow up. And every time there's a knockback, the people upstairs, so all the range get knocked back, all the downstairs people get knocked forward. And so the positioning is such that these people will never overlap. Generally speaking, we're just going to be going clockwise. So whenever we're rotating, as you'll see, the range are going to be going this way and the melee are going to be going this way. So we get.
I just want to say that at some point they did nerf the fight, so he phases at 37.5, and
Okay.
you get another impale.
His health was also reduced, which is the reason why the phase transition was reduced. So the extra impale was if you were behind on DPS or waiting for the timer.
Okay.
We typically push before it on farm.
So
real quick, while we're talking about those, the knockbacks. So the range are getting knocked forward, the range are getting knocked back. It's really important that you don't blink soul shape forward to get back into position, because usually the melee are where you just were pushed back from, and they're going to be moving back towards the boss.
So you need to give it a second before you get back.
Give it a second before you get back. Don't blink back to where you were.
Right. So these Fatal Finesses are going to go out periodically. They'll have assigned spots as well. So this first one, the range are always taking it to this right corner. Again, the pattern's generally going to be similar, where the range are always kind of taking it counterclockwise and dropping it off. It's going to do a cleave, and then it's going to drop these red seeds. So we can't see the two that they just dropped, but the people downstairs can see them. They see the same thing we see here. And these just need to be soaked before they expire or we blow up. So the range are going to come over. And so this is that clockwise rotation I was talking about. We're going to rotate clockwise, soak the melee seed, and then we get another knockback. Melee are getting knocked forward. There you can kind of see them. Then we get another Fatal Finesse. It's going to go to the right, drop it there. And then we rotate and soak the other group's seeds. And this is kind of the way this plays out. You'll have he'll coat sections of the room to do like area denial as well, which is what he's about to do. Yep.
This fight was so good.
This fight was so good, dude. In fact, I want to hear him. I'm just going to let this play out. I'm not even going to explain the rest of this. We'll just watch it, because I think you guys get the point.
When soaking, make sure you don't blink onto a soak or immediately go into a soak, because where a soak is, the mirror person just dropped there, so they're right there.
This song is so Castle Nathria vibes.
Dude, actually, I really want to watch Jezier's video, because it's the first OE video I watched.
What music video did he do for that one? I can't remember.
I'm just gonna pull it up.
I watched Josmo's POV.
Sorry.
That one was pretty good too.
Oh wait, that's gonna be the melee version we watched.
Yeah. Where the heck is Jezier's?
Yeah, what's up?
Hello?
What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Huh?
No, that's because I subscribed to you. Get out.
No?
What's good? What's good?
Dude, I swear I just watched it like a couple days ago. This is fucked. Like searching quotes. Oh my god. What is this trash?
So much damage.
Nope.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll watch this, but someone else please find this video for me. It's so good.
Is that sack?
Moving at the end of this cast. Here we go.
No.
Yeah, so there's this one point where all the ranged are gating right before we get these or right after we get these massacres.
Good.
So we kind of bait the massacres over there and then gate. But otherwise, it's the same kind of rotation.
Take a mango. Take a mango.
That one does kind of break the melee pattern though, because the melee are dropping it
Live this
kind
blood
of
price.
to the
Live
right
this blood
instead
price.
of to the
Every
left.
defense.
Melee to pie here.
Yeah.
That's the only one though.
Yeah, that's the only one that breaks the pattern.
Oh, thank you. Hold on. Z found it for us.
What? We're like 5 seconds
I'm
away.
sorry, Schlim. This
And
video
I
is
sent
so
it to you
much
too.
better.
What the hell?
Dude, you're just gonna blue ball Schlim like that? Jesus.
Yeah. So purple.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this
way
is the
too dank.
downstairs.
Turn down the volume. We're just gonna do this whole phase because the shit's pog.
Two.
And this gives you the melee perspective. So they get knocked forward instead of back. Blood price also knocks them forward.
Switching house now, right?
What's that?
Switching now, right?
Probably.
Dude, this fight was so sick.
It's really good.
Honestly,
Minus
besides SLG, like the entire raid was really good raid.
And
Yeah.
Cancel was horrible in my opinion.
Council was
but
kind of
that was
dumb, but
fun.
it wasn't so hard that you were like stuck on it forever, so it was fine.
I love execution sentence. It's so funny.
The camera problem on Council's the only thing that made it really annoying. Like, the dancers block your camera.
Yeah, my guild died 5% away from a kill on Council, and the new guild I went to was just starting prog on Council, so I had 200 pulls.
Oh no.
That's awesome.
Okay, you could say that fight sucks then.
I think that's more just the trauma than the fight, but
Yeah, but we'll give it to him. So you can kind of see the people in the other phase, but like if you're following the right positioning, you shouldn't really have to look at them too hard.
This is where if you're melee, you want to cancel the pullback or the not forward, if you can.
And so here, a lot of people in melee are using immunities. You saw him bop Babs, just because, like, that shit's really hard to dodge if you don't have some kind of immunity. That's the one that the ranged are gating. This was the one Fatal Finesse where you go the other way, I think, right?
yeah, it already happened.
Oh,
It's
did
the
it?
one right
The
out
one
of that
right
transition.
before that. Yeah. as range when you're, or I guess for both melee and range, but range are more likely to suck at this. When you're dropping those fatal finesses, you want to move immediately to do the rotation, because melee are going to be coming for that fatal finesse, and if you don't move, they're going to collapse on you. Oh, look how good timing this is, dude.
Was that the Hardened Rage?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well,
That was
33rd
nerd screams.
no
Yeah,
nerd
what's
screams.
up?
Yeah, okay, but we'll...
Kill boss. Just pump this.
Gone! Let's fucking go!
Yes!
Wow.
Nice work.
Nice.
God bless.
Shout con? What?
Let's fucking go!
Yes!
All right.
Most of our raiders are too old to scream.
It was a very
Gotta like
OE
throw out
scream.
their back or something.
Our Sylvanas
You
one was
heard us-
pretty good. I watched it the other day.
Yeah. And then the end of Jailer was just...
That was... End of Jailer was very sad. But, okay, so that's the fight. I mean, there's a ton there, so I'm not going to go through all the different pieces, but... Does anyone have any questions? This is definitely a fight that I encourage you all to go back and watch the video and
Can you
understand your
do
role.
the melee perspective for phase 2? I don't think we did that.
Sure.
Especially after you kill the first 2 ads where the mages jumped over, because there is an important impale that happens there, so we want to see what you're supposed to do.
Okay, just ignore Seth's perspective.
Oh, we can watch that. Yeah, you did. You did look
You
weird.
watch Jester's if you really want to. They're the same.
I don't know. We'll get a healer perspective. See what you guys actually do.
Okay, let's do it, guys.
Phase 2.
So, what?
Okay, so,
Yeah, so
we
that's what
land,
we'll drop.
and then range we're going and killing this thing. Instead, melee are going over here and gating or leaping, whatever you can do to get over that side. And you're killing this boss. This boss has a kick rotation, is that right? I don't know, I never did this side.
Yeah.
It's 2
There's
ads.
an ad that spawns that you have to kick.
So ads spawn at.
I actually don't know that I've ever seen this side.
It's I believe it's 75 and 25%
Okay,
of the
there.
boss's health they spawn, and you need to kick it 5 times before it dies on its own.
They are immediate kicks. You do not wait for
No,
the cast
no,
to go.
no.
What?
They're the opposite, because you need to. You don't have enough kicks to do 10 kicks if you kick too fast.
We were having troubles where they weren't getting kicked fast enough, though, and the 5th one was while you were getting gripped.
Right, but that's because we had to do them so slowly.
Nope. I
Because
just
you
want to
have
focus
to
again
have
on
enough
Seth's
kicks.
contribution here.
You have
Okay.
to have someone do 1 on the first ad and 5 on the second ad.
Okay.
And because we're DPSing so fast, those ads spawn like right away.
So you get to that second platform by attacking the boss and hoping you go over to them.
Look, I stayed behind to make sure the impales lived. Okay.
Sure.
Then I didn't have anything on.
Adam, do you remember how we did that
that
interrupt stuff? Because I don't remember us having issues
remember-
interrupting everything.
No, I
much.
remember. Yeah, I remember. There's like 2 people
So
assigned
if,
to each.
if you had a DH tank, he could like do some cringe shit and get like 3 interrupts or something, I think. But
It's gonna
otherwise,
be
Yeah, we
it's
did.
gonna be
Yeah.
rough without shaman healers.
Yeah, we also had 2 shamans as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, but one of them never kicked because he had like, I don't know, he's just not a good player.
Okay.
If you'll notice, it's melee for these things, though. Like most of us just.
How many times did he
off
miss
the
his
boss the whole
fucking
time.
kick?
Yeah, a good amount. That's fine though. That's in the past.
Okay, I think we're back to where we were. But did you point out the impale as we moved through the first time?
Yeah, so
But there's one. So the first time you move through, Seth doesn't run back. All the range move back, but you have to wait to see.
Yeah, so we're gonna
if
see
you got
it.
an impale.
It's not this one. Wait.
I can give
It's
you my
not this
perspective.
overlap. I know what you're talking about. I just got to
when
find.
we're going to the ads. It's when we're going to the second.
It's this one, right? Yeah. So we get the Hand of Destruction, and then we go through the mirror.
It's earlier.
Uh.
It's when we're going to the side platform ads. The second set of side platform ads. It's this portal.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, it's.
Wait.
Yes, it's this one. So
Okay.
you wait to see the impale. If you didn't, the ranged have to wait to see if they got the impale before they go through.
So we're gonna get a Hand of Destruction if you look at the timers here, and then we get an impale. The range, if you recall, when we get the Hand of Destruction, you're going through the mirror and then you're coming back. But you want to go through the mirror and see who gets the impale. If you get the impale, so they're gonna go through the mirror. If as a range right now, you're one of the people like this person and you get the impale, you're going to stay here, do the impale, and then go back through the mirror. Otherwise, you can just go straight back. Okay. Otherwise, we saw all this. I don't know, was there anything else melee-wise you wanted to emphasize?
I don't think
Don't greed damage.
On the first ad, you still have to dodge the bolts coming in from the ranged ad. That will still silence you and do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Also, just don't greed damage on Massacre. Just get off the boss.
Yep.
Yep. It will one-shot you unceremoniously.
Dude, this was such a tank privilege fight, too. You could fuck up so hard as a tank and be totally fine.
Not early, Prog.
You know what you couldn't do as a tank, though?
To this boss as a bad
was
player.
fall off the edge.
Boss slapped the ever-loving shit out of tanks early on.
Yeah. So, like, his melees hit really hard, but, like, most of the other mechanics, like massacres and, like, swirls and stuff, were very easily tankable as a tank.
I mean, you had to commit a cooldown that you didn't have. Yes.
Ball TPS.
But yeah,
Why are we holding DPS?
That's basically the fight. First phase is kind of a joke. You just got to make sure you're cleansing your debuffs when you're supposed to. Phase 2, it's a lot of dodging. You just got to know when you got to get to the right ad to kill them. Otherwise, it's just a lot of dodging and kicking. And then third phase is a very particular movement dance.
Yeah, so that one right there was the, like, backwards one?
Right. A fun fight, though. Unlike SLG.
We're skipping, right?
I assume that's the...
We'll let you know when we know.
Okay. I didn't know if that was already...
Not likely, actually, unless it's severely undertuned. There's not really a reason for us to skip first.
I guess.
I mean, Nathria says 311 weapons.
Like I said, it depends on tuning. If we can get gear and make it easier to kill the Nathries, then yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever we decide, our goal is ultimately to get us the most gear, which, if tuning's really easy, yeah, going to the end makes sense. If we think, like, we don't want to go to the end just to kill nothing and get no loot, you know, because that won't be productive. So, we'll see. It's the fight, though. So, like we said in our post, our goal is hopefully to make this like Strat Sunday thing a kind of regular occurrence. Obviously, as we're going over new tiers, it's like this long drawn out thing. I don't expect to spend this much time on them going forward other than reviewing Sanctum. But
yeah, going forward, it will most likely be a 30-minute open door teacher policy type thing where either Morg or I or whoever is available for 30 minutes or an hour to answer any questions and try and, if we're coming up on a new prog boss or something, we'll maybe take a little bit longer, go through videos like this or whatever. But it'll be much shorter than tonight. Obviously, we're reviewing a full tier, but it'll be a lot more open to question.
Can we call these your office hours? These feel like office hours.
Sure. I mean, I did kind of just say they were open door policy stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this is helpful. This is not meant to be necessarily a replacement for you guys doing your own prep. Obviously, there's still a lot of mechanical nuance that we glossed over, particularly for people who haven't done these fights or didn't do them much. And there's, all your own specific prep that you guys should be doing. Make sure you download the week aura packs that Slim has prepared.
Was an update if you grab them already. Grab them again. Make sure you update.
And yeah, let's hopefully have some fun re-clearing this shit. I'm actually looking forward to it. Although I'm going to be total floor POV on a mage, so hope you guys enjoy that.
Van Wizard.
Oh, is it officially the age of Van Wizard?
I mean, we'll see how the first night goes. Depending on how it goes, there might not be a second night, but yeah, we'll see.
That's fine, dude. You got cauterized.
Oh, you just gotta do better than Dradog. That's not too difficult, right?
I mean, my goal is to survive. If I can do that, I'll be happy.
They're gonna
so
fail
better
his
than
trial.
Dradog.
Fail his trial, yes.
No.